I knew it.
You're listening to Truth on Tap.
Oh my God. Son of a bitch, am I happy to do that. This ain't the big show. This is the motherfucking monolithic show from hell. Oh, Karma's a bitch, and Karma's working on my side now. Yes, I said Karma. It's the big show. Listen up. But she survived, and you're gonna survive. What am I here to talk about tonight? I gotta be honest with you. You're listening to The Big Show. You're listening to Truth on Tap. Your host, Kevin Kierstead. Is it a late night show? Not really. It's 4:28 a.m. It would have been a late night show, but I had to do all kinds of dumb shit to get Sam. Now, you hear this little word Sam, and you're thinking, oh, you mean like the little kid on the little show with Tony Danza when we were growing up? And no. Sam is much bigger. Sam is much larger. If Alyssa Milano is who we're referencing, this Sam looks like Jabba the Hutt standing on his mama's back. Yeah, Sam Broadcaster, very powerful package. Many love it. Making me pull my hair out, and I generally pull from the side, so I'm developing a mohawk. This is all the more reason for me to get the Australian Outback hat. Everything comes together. I love it when a plan comes together. So I'm just happy to be back on the air, and there's a couple reasons for it. One is I was sick as a goddamn dog for the past 4 days. I'm still sick, but compared to that, holy shit, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And don't make a train joke. It's tired. Let's let that one rest. Here's another one, you motherfuckers. You piss me off. You piss me off. I can't use the word assume anymore. I have to use the word presume. Assume was a perfectly good word. And you know why I can't use it. You know exactly why I can't use it. Because you're going to make that dumbass joke, and I'm going to have to bitch smack you with a flip-flop. And I don't like violence. I can't use the word assume anymore because you made an ass out of you and not me. Okay? So now I have to say presume. Presume sounds a bit douchebaggery-ish. No, you done took a perfectly good word. You done took assume from me. Oh, we will talk about words, my friends. We will talk about words, but that's not what this show's about, really, is it? Sometimes when I start a show, let me explain how it happens. Sometimes I have a little bit of gas when I start a show. Hold on. Oh, no. I'm so embarrassed. I just wrong. Oh! That was just me blowing my nose, I promise. Yeah, it's real stuffed up. And I feel like I just applauded with my ass, if that's even possible. Like if there were somebody on a stage, they'd be bowing right now. Well, thank you, Kevin. Thank you. When I want to get the title of my show, sometimes I actually have to go to the website, to Spreaker.com, refresh the page, and then look and see, aha, here we go, because I forgot what I titled it. Who gives a shit? Do you care? I don't. It's called Truth on Tap. Well, that's kind of important, because that's like my whole thing. That's like the whole spirit of this show. Truth readily available, no lies, no bullshit. Now, I may lie and tell you your hair looks nice, or that I don't think your mom's really a whore just because everybody else does. But I'm not going to lie to you on the big stuff. Truth on Tap, Night Owls and Asstards. I told you a little bit yesterday about my neighbors. Well, there's more. Now, did I tell you the cop came over? They made a noise complaint because I was cranking the Tupac out the window after the bitch pissed me off. Yeah, no, I didn't tell you that. Yeah, call the cops over. I walked over yelling at the cop and the lady, "Oh, you got a noise complaint? I'm about to turn this shit up." Because I know my laws. There's no noise ordinance here. And in fact, I did turn it up. And in fact, I put the speakers in the window instead of just on the table and turned them up. And then came in later, turned them up again. Oh yeah, I had windows about to break. Here's the problem. And my friend Kim, and I can explain this whole thing with a little analogy, but it's an applicable analogy. In fact, the analogy applies directly to this behavior. It's why she did this. My friend Kim, I told her one time, I said, "Kim, I'm such an easy guy. You know, I just about tolerate everything. You can even poke at me a few times, and I'll just kind of sit there. You really gotta fuck with me hard to get me to snap, but God help 'em when I snap. I'm like the Tasmanian devil caught up in a tornado, PMSing. You don't want none of that, my friends, and nobody would want any of that. But they did it. See, they poked, they prodded, they came over. Oh, your grass, you blew the grass in the ditch, and it could cause the water to stop. I've been cutting grass for 30-odd thousand years, folks. Blown grass and ditches. Never seen it build up to stop the water flow. Never a one time. But it happened again. Then it happened again. And my lovely, peaceful girlfriend said, instead of letting a fight start, because I was about to go off when they came to the door that time, she said, "I'll go rake it out." She went and raked it out. I bit my tongue. Started giving them about 4 swipes where I would blow the grass against everything I've ever been taught. Blow the grass inward toward my house. Because what's going to happen is you're going to run over that cut grass and the uncut grass and put a strain on your blades in your mower. You're supposed to blow the grass out. Not with him. He wants you to blow it in away from his property. So I gave him 4 big, wide, 32-inch deck strokes. 4 big, wide lanes of blowing in. And then I started blowing out because at that point it was getting actually too tall for me to cut with my mower without hurting my mower. I had to start blowing it out away from my new paths. Next thing you know, my girlfriend gets a call at work. "Why can't you blow your grass somewhere else? How come you never rake up your leaves? It upsets us so much when we get a pine cone in our yard." Now keep in mind, they're okay with the leaves that come from the forest in front of their house. They're okay with the leaves that come in their yard from the forest behind their house. They're okay with the leaves that come into their yard from the forest in their yard. They're okay with the trash that comes into the yard from the main road. They're okay with anything that blows into their yard from any of the other 3 sides of their rectangular property. But if something should blow in from our side, the National Guard is called and must act. Can I ask you for a favor, my friends? See, here's my plan. When I'm 70-ish, 80-ish, I guess that's where they are. She looks about 90, but she still walks, so she's probably younger than that. Do me a favor. If I'm not representing myself in a way that might show a 30 or 40-year-old, hey, here's how you do when you get older. Be an example. Be understanding. Be tolerant. If you need to, if somebody's abusing your stuff or something, you can tell them gently and, be a good leader. Be a good leader. Get the information across, but don't be a dick. If I am a dick, I'm asking you for a mercy killing. I want you to come shoot me with a shotgun. Oh my God, Kevin, that sounds so rash. I don't care. Do it. If you don't want to do that, bring like 6 pit bulls that you know want to kill, and just pop open your trunk, let them jump out and run. They'll get me. Because I don't ever want to be like that to the younger people in the community. What a douchebag, immature way to act on both of their parts. So they call the cops over. Cops come. Cops say, "We can't do anything. He's on his property." There are car stereos louder than what he's playing right now. Boy, isn't she sad. So then I go out and I put trash and shoes and all kinds of stuff you might see at a garage sale and line it all up right along their property line just to show them if you want a bad neighbor, I can give you a bad neighbor. And I turn the music up again. Yeah. So they call the cops, and she does. The guy knows he can't do anything. She calls and says, "They've got stuff lined up all along the property. It looks like trash. I don't know what to do. Oh no, the sky's falling." So my girlfriend gets home. She knows why I did what I did. She and her daughter. At this point, I'm just about paralyzed because of what I've done to my back that day working on the lawnmower. I'm feeling electrocution signals go down my legs, which is not a normal problem for me, to the point where I'm about to lose my ability to walk. We're there now with regard to my injuries. And so they pick up this stuff that I've carefully placed, shoes and whatnot. I didn't just throw it out there. But I wanted it to look ugly, really trashy, really ghetto. And I did indeed accomplish that. So they pick this stuff up. Well, the cops come over and see me today. Now, I'll go one of two ways with cops. I had a sheriff and an officer come over, and let me tell you, and I'm saying this on the air, and I'll say it again, I'm going to go one of two ways. I'm going to come out saying, if you don't have a search warrant, get the fuck off my property. Or I'm going to say, they probably have a decent reasoning to be here, and they're probably pretty cool, so I'll give them a shot. Let's see if they can make sense before I get all technical with them. Looked at them. They both had smiles on their faces, and I knew what they were going to say. So sure, I was cool. I went on out. I said, how's it going, guys? I'm Sheriff so-and-so. I'm Officer so-and-so. Said, we heard from the neighbor who was trying to make complaints yesterday, that, you were doing this and you were doing that, and you didn't break any laws. I said, I know I didn't. They said, now I'm not going to tell you who, because I'm not one for dropping names. But somebody in that conversation said, she's always been a bitch. Oh, yeah. They sure did. And you know how I knew that already? The person that lived here 2 times before, not the ones that owned the house before 3 years ago, but the lady that owned it before that, she was about 93 years old. Well, they put up a wall to separate themselves from her. They're building a new wall right now. They put up a wall to separate themselves from her. You know what she called it? The Berlin Wall. Okay, so now you have a history. Now you're getting your evidence. Now you've got possibly a policeman. I didn't say it was a policeman. I just said that I was talking to 2 cops and somebody in the group said something. Possibly a policeman saying that she's always been a bitch. Okay, get this, man. Okay. So I'm out there talking to those 2, and I say, I think he still works at his ripe age, and he still participates with the volunteer rescue squad because he wants as many opportunities as possible to get the fuck away from her. And maybe, just maybe, somebody in that group said, can you blame him? So, people of the Northern Neck, let me assure you, when this rumor gets around to you, that I've got all the clarity you might need on it. Call into the show. Say what you like. I'm the little dog that Kim bought me. I sleep there. I never sleep, but that's my spirit. It's a peaceful one. I'm sleeping there, and you can come poke me a few times with a stick if you want. Go ahead, be playful. But about that 6th or 7th time, I'm coming up swinging. And when I come up swinging, people don't make it. People go from vertical to horizontal. Yeah, the few mistakes I've made in fights, I've made when I was drunk. I don't drink anymore. I hope you never have to find that out the hard way. I'm trained, I'm quick, and I know that adrenaline can take care of my back pain for at least 5 minutes, which would be enough for me to whip about 7 people's asses. So my whole point there is, let's have a happy life. You don't fuck with me, I won't whoop your ass. Now that's not a threat toward anybody, and certainly not to my neighbors. I mean, I could blow air at them and break one of their hips. It's not that. It's not like that. It's just saying, don't fuck with me. Can you just leave me alone? It's very important to me that my girlfriend and my stepdaughter-to-be and myself can live a peaceful life without having you come to my door to tell me how to cut my grass. That's very important to me. Very important to me. If you're a police officer and I'm not breaking the law, I don't need you questioning me. Don't come question me, okay? Now, if you need to know something because you think a law may have been broken, I get that. I'm with you. Question me. That's cool. But once you find out I haven't, get the fuck away from me, okay? Because I do know my laws. And I will not sit there and chat with... Now, I'll have a chat with a police officer who's being cool. I'll talk with him for 5 hours. But if you're one of those asshole cops that likes to bounce his authority around, you're not getting shit out of me. Go ahead and detain me. You're going to have to if you want anything. And even then you're not, because I'm going to get an attorney. I don't talk to assholes. Assholes can kiss my ass. So if you are a cop and you know you're an asshole, I personally extend my long, crooked middle finger to you right now and maintain it. It's permanent. Every time you think of me, think of the long, crooked middle finger because it's aimed at you. Now, if you're a good cop that does your job honorably and doesn't, cheat when you get a chance or let somebody go off a DUI so you can get a free hot tub, yeah, that's not honorable. But if you're an honorable cop, I'll do whatever I can to help you. I sure will. I'll watch out for you. I'll perform night watch for you. I got cameras set up all over the place. You want to know who drove by at 11:17 a.m.? Give me a holler. But if you're an asshole, you can holler at me, but I'm going to be deaf when you holler. I'm going to be deaf, but I do know sign language, and that's this middle finger and that middle finger. Yeah, can you read those? Good. Now carry your ass off my property if you don't have a warrant before I put a foot up your ass. That's how that goes. So we're talking about night owls and Asstards. Often this is the case with me. Often this is the case. What happens? Well, I'll tell you. So we're doing a show, and I've got 1 or 2 topics. Currently, I'm running about 17 minutes into the broadcast here. And often this is the case, because I like to do more than one topic. Sometimes we like to focus. I like to do Syria. Syria is a big one for me. Yeah, and we'll have others. Shit happens, big world events. We'll have other high focus. If I had had this show during 9/11, that would have been a major focus. But I also would have found sub-focuses in there. What's going on in New York? Why didn't Giuliani do more? What was the military response immediately after? Did the CIA have any inside? We'll focus on subtopics. But generally, if I've got more than one topic, I'll kind of stick to one side because I get to going with it. And if you would call in or get in on the text, you could bitch slap me a couple times and say, hey, spread it out a bit there, partner. Let's hear about everything. That's why I need you to participate, okay? All right, well, I caught myself this time after a mere 18 minutes. Calm it down here, save the vocal cords. Truth on Tap is what you're listening to. Your host, Kevin Kierstead. Night Owls and Asstards. Well, we've been talking about the Asstards. We've been talking about the Asstards I live next to. We've been talking about the Asstards in law enforcement, and not all of them are. In fact, it seems to me we have a very cool sheriff out here in Matthews County. Seems to me, am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong. This show, let me remind you, is called Truth on Tap. That means that you should be able to come to this show, turn on the faucet, and get nothing but the truth. So if anything impure is coming out of the tap, I need you to help me come correct it. Okay? So that goes for any law enforcement officers. If you're afraid, you can remain anonymous. You can remain anonymous. And they can cut my legs and arms off. I won't give up any secrets. That's the way that works. Yeah. So little tricks they teach you in the Air Force. What I was going to talk about, though, as we get off of the Astard subject, for now, this is not a permanent departure. I like to come back because I'll think of something on my second topic that applies to the first. Night owls, what about them? I'm one. Are you? Now, first of all, we may have varying definitions of night owl. Your typical definition is what? Somebody who'd rather stay up late at night than get up early in the morning. The assumption being that you still need 7 or 8 hours of sleep, right? So there's your night owl. The night owl, given their way, would probably sleep from 3 in the morning to 11 in the morning. Somewhere in there. Does that sound about right for a night owl? 4 in the morning to noon, maybe? Something like that. Or even just kind of like that low-level night owl that might want to go to bed at 1 and wake up at 8. You know, that kind of night owl? Okay, well, before my injuries took over my life, I wanted to be up till at least 2. But I would always have to get up for work by 6:30 or so. So I was only getting 4.5 hours sleep then. God, what I would do to get that now. So from my injuries have come a couple of blessings. I sleep about 5 hours every 4 days now. That happens when the fatigue factor overrides the pain factor of my injuries, mainly the back. I've got the knee, I've got the fibromyalgia, I've got the back. The severe arthritis in the spine is like, what was the way I described it earlier? I had a new way of describing it. It was like, have you ever chugged a beer or chugged a soda? I mean, really drank it fast? Well, imagine doing that with lava. Just take that general level of pain you would have felt from, say, your mouth down toward your heart area and apply that to the low back. There's Kevin. You got me. That's me every day. That's what I'm dealing with every day. I'm not trying to get sympathy, just letting you know how it is. And it applies here because I can't sleep. With that kind of pain, you don't sleep. It's like being on fire. Name one person you've ever known that has slept while on fire and had not been drinking. All right, I got to put a qualifier in because I do know people that have been drinking that will sleep on fire. Has not been drinking and slept while burning. I have not known one, and I also am not one. So, but what happens is if you can keep that person awake for a couple weeks, you can set the bitch's hair on fire and he'll still sleep because the body can no longer stay awake. Now, once it realizes it must wake to survive, it'll wake up anyway. Even if he's been awake for 2 weeks, fallen asleep, set him on fire, he gets a 10-minute nap while he loses his hair, third-degree burns on his scalp. He'll finally wake up once the body says, okay, we're getting to a point now where the brain is about to broil. We can't have a broiled brain or we can't have a life. So I gotta wake you up, buddy. Gotta wake you up. Let's get up. Let's smack our head a few times. You've already stopped and dropped. Just go ahead and roll, and we'll get this thing put out. My humor, or attempts thereof, is a strange motherfucking version of humor. So I hope you'll bear with me. I have decided to go ahead and cuss during my broadcast. It is a natural part of my communication. Not something I do in public often, but it helps me express my emotion. And I can hear some of my family now going, Kevin, it's not proper. What if children listen? There are ways to express your emotion without using curse words. Well, you're right. You're right. But fuck it, you know. All right, so back to the story here. I got one, and there's one that I have to play fairly regularly because it's a station ID and I'm trying to build my brand name. So get ready for this one.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host
Yeah, I hope that sounded good. I'm using something called AGC, something to make the sound a little more full. They've got a million ways, but my 5-year-old computer goes, I don't want to do it unless you give me an easy way. It's like, I don't know. And I don't feel like playing with sound effects right now, so let's keep talking. Night owls. I'm going to give you some reference info. Now, let me tell you what I've read in general, and this is long ago. I haven't pulled up anything recently. By the way, my shows are done without scripts or notes. We just go. We turn them on and go. Occasionally, I will think of a couple of main topics and a couple of subtopics. That's it. They will get no more than 15 seconds of thought in my brain before broadcast time. I find it makes the show authentic, makes it fun. Makes it fun for me. I'm an impromptu guy. If I had to pick any show to be on, it would be Whose Line Is It Anyway? I mean, come on, let's have some fun. Give me a script? That's boring, fake shit is what that is. All right, so what I'm going to pull up here is night owls. How about better or worse? How about that? Now, I had read long ago that night owls were generally, whenever I compare groups, there are always exceptions, folks. If I say black people jump higher than white people, you know damn well that there are exceptions. There are white guys that jump higher than certain black people. Please just give me that so I don't have to say it every time. Say, oh yeah, Kevin understands the bell curve and standard deviations, okay? So if I say black people are more scared of ghosts than white people, understand there are exceptions. I'm not talking about all of them. Can we get past that? Because you can save me a lot of communication time if I don't have to pause on that every time. All right, don't make me refer you back to this show. Night owls, and I'm just going to go down the list. Now, I had read that night owls in general were more intelligent, IQ test intelligent. You may not even think IQ tests are valid. That's up to you. How you define intelligence is up to you. I tend to think that IQ tests are pretty good indicators of intelligence, not of street smarts. I'm not talking about street smarts. I'm talking about book intelligence. I'm talking about understanding histories and economies and sciences and world religions and community interactions and psychology and sociology and and on I could go. Talking about that stuff. Not talking about knowing when you're about to get mugged, so being smart enough to get out of the situation 3 minutes early. Okay? That's a different kind of intelligence, and you will not find that on an IQ test. You understand what I'm saying there? Okay, so there are even more kinds of intelligence than that. But I'm talking about your general academia branded version of intelligence. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I went in to Google, the Google Gaggles Goggle Giggle, and I typed in night owls better or worse. And I'm just going to read you some of the topics that pop up. And if I find an interesting one, I may go into it. Now, what's great about this is you could do the same thing, right? But you may be driving right now, listening to me over a, some sort of smartphone app or through your podcast, whatever your tool is. Maybe a iPod or iPhone with a FM transmitter, whatever. So I'll do it for you. Night owls, better or worse? All right, so let's go down a few topics, and these are the first. Now, first of all, the number of results that came up when I searched for night owls, better or worse, were 69,400,000 results. Yeah, people been thinking about this. That's what that tells me. People been thinking about this. Naturally, Google is God, so it has organized them perfectly, I say with as much sarcasm as I can. I honestly think Google's pretty good at their job, but I've seen lately where they're starting to stack for advertising. They want to make some money, so that's life, whatever. All right, now work with me here. First one says, and I'm going to be telling on myself with some of these, and this is from Huffington Post. Night owls may be more likely to possess dark triad traits. Dark triad traits, studies suggest. I'm not familiar with the word triad. I think it's a triad something. I don't know what that is. Is that from one of the more popular books or something? Let me pull it up real quick because I have a little thing that I can pull definitions on. It says, yeah, I guess it's pronounced triad according to this. The cardinal number that is the sum of 1 and 1 and 1. Yeah, so basically the Trinity. That's what I thought. So it says that studies suggest, and then there's a video. I'm not going to play the video. Listen to this though. Night owls may be more nefarious than their early bird counterparts, according to a small new study. And nefarious, of course, meaning extremely wicked. And in the study published in the Journal of Personality and Individual Differences, researchers from Liverpool Hope University, University of Western Sydney, found that people with nighttime predisposition were more likely to have traits of the dark triad. The dark triad is a group of characteristics that include narcissism, Machiavellianism, and I'll explain that to you, indicative of being manipulative, and psychopathy. Whoa. Now, but keep in mind the numbers. Okay, we're not saying all of them. The study included 263 college students. Remember, they just studied 263 college students, not 43 million people across the world. 74 of whom were males, okay? So a remarkably low number of these, by comparison, were males. Like what? I'm looking at it, I'm guessing 20%ish, who answered questions online about their morning, evening preferences. They also answered questions to determine their narcissistic, psychopathic, and Machiavellianistic tendencies. Now, first, let me go ahead and explain these to you real quick. Narcissists, what do? They're all about themselves, okay? That's what a narcissist is. They ego, ego, ego. Now, the next one is psychopathic. One thing to keep in mind, a narcissist is not necessarily a psychopath, but a psychopath will almost always necessarily be a narcissist. Psychopaths are best described as 2-year-olds. One of my psych professors in college said, you want to know what a psychopath is? Here's how you picture them. You're carrying a 2-year-old through a restaurant, right? He's already acting like an asshole. You're carrying him through the restaurant to the table that you're being led to. He reaches down to a stranger's plate and grabs a French fry, grabs a handful of them, looks at that stranger. My French fries, not yours, and eats them, staring at that stranger as you keep walking. Well, there's your psychopath. I mean, he's not afraid to be mean. It is all about him. And then there's much more. You know, they don't feel guilt, but they can mirror empathy. They know how to act like they have empathy, even though they cannot truly relate to the pain of another human being. They are very worried about themselves and their own health and how someone might hurt them. And they can be worried about that while they're cutting your heart out of your chest. You see, this is a psychopath. All right, so you've got the narcissist and the psychopath. Now, Machiavellianistic, big word, and used generally by douchebags who want to sound smart. If you don't know what that means, think there was a man named Niccolo Machiavelli, and he wrote a book that was basically designed to be given to a prince to teach him how to be the strongest and greatest ruler he could possibly be. So what did he do? He basically created a Bible of behaviors to be the strongest possible leader you could be. Now, how am I going to sum that up for you for the course of a show like this? Machiavellian politics are those that are not really dog eat dog, but are brontosaurus eat dog. You destroy your competition. Machiavellian politics are those when you get into power, you don't become friends with those equal to you. You destroy them. Who did it? Saddam Hussein did it. Remember? Remember when he was elected? Took about 35 people outside and shot him in the head. Remember that? Everybody else was instantly loyal to him. It works. It's brutal. It's nasty. The motherfucker should have been shot right then, but he wasn't. It works. That's Machiavellian politics right there. This is part of this insane triad that they're talking about. So you got the narcissism, you've got the psychopathy, and you've got the Machiavellianism. Now, Machiavellian thinking is not just that, not just kill your competition, but basically does come from that attitude. Don't be just a bully, be an extreme bully. If you conquer a town, you don't just say, I rule this town, you murder everybody in it. That's how you win hard. Or don't expect to hold on to it. In fact, it was Machiavelli who said, if you conquer a town and you don't kill everybody in it, it won't be long before you're the one dead. That's what he said. That's the kind of guy he was. And you know Hitler loved him. You know Stalin loved him. I mean, there's a lot. And this is going to shock you. The book he wrote about all this called The Prince, Niccolo Machiavelli. Guess who in your American culture had that as his favorite book? I'm going to give you a few seconds in a Jeopardy theme here. Guess who? Whose favorite book was The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli? I'll give you a second to think about it. Somebody you'll know. You'll know the name. Big name. All right, you ready? Bill Clinton. Yeah, that was his favorite book. Now, I have no opinion. Well, I'll go ahead and tell you. I do not dislike Bill Clinton. I did not dislike him as a politician. I was absolutely pissed off that he was getting Hummers in our Oval Office. I think that's the least honorable behavior you can possibly do in there. Um, I'm a little concerned about this Whitewater kind. I don't know how true it is, but I just get this feeling knowing about the rumors that went around, plus the fact that he loved the prince, and I know what kind of behavior the prince promotes. I got this curiosity going in the back of my mind, not paranoia. Did he kill people? Did he have people killed? I don't think so, but God, it's possible. I don't feel comfortable enough to rule it out. You know, is he really just the charming Southern gentleman? I guess he could be. But damn it, there's something itching back there in my psyche that makes me want to look deeper into it, and yet makes me not want to for fear of what I'll find. All right. So this is the this is the first result I pulled up on night owls. So dark triad. So now let's see how many of these. Now we knew there were 263 college students, 74 of whom were males. I'm going to skip the stuff that doesn't matter. Researchers found a correlation. Remember, correlation is not causation. Researchers found a correlation between having these traits and being inclined to be an evening person. However, there was no association found between the sex of the participants and the likelihood of possessing the traits and having an evening preference. The Telegraph reported that the potential evolutionary reason could be that the darkness of night may have helped to mask the stealing of female animals away from male animals. Oh my. Keep that in mind as I read on. It could be adaptively effective for anyone pursuing a fast life strategy like that embodied in the dark triad to occupy and exploit a low light environment where others are sleeping and have diminished cognitive functioning, the study researcher, Dr. Peter Johnson in the University of Western Sydney, told the Telegraph. However, NBC News pointed out some weaknesses in the study, including the fact that the sleep habits of college students are usually very different from other members of society, and that other factors should play into why a person needs to adapt an evening preference, that being become a night owl, such as working the night shift. What do you think about the study? You know, this is very interesting. I think they hit on something with the stealing the mates thing at night. There is a certain... I'm going to go ahead and say this as carefully as I can while not giving too much of a fuck. There is a certain evolutionary advantage to being willing to operate under the cover of darkness. You understand me? Could it have become evolutionary in that form? Yes. And let me just add, I believe evolutionary as it's described is a bit misleading. Now, if I believe we evolved the way people pretty much say we did. But when you look at evolution, what do you see? You always see this chart. All right, you got Monkey Man, he's short, and Monkey Man, a little less Monkey Man, a little less Monkey Man. Now he's looking more like a human, more like a human. Now he looks like Spudweb, now more like a human. Now he looks like a human, now he's a big tall man, he's straightening up, he's getting tall, he's tall. There he is. There's the most modern version. There's where you're being misled. You're being led to think that we're going in some direction. I see. We're going from the short, hairy, stooped over to the tall, hairless stand-up. I get it. So what's next? Wrong. Wrong. What you're seeing is snapshots of what survived. That's what you're seeing. Snapshots of what survived. None of those creatures you see in those evolutionary posters had a chance to get ready for what Mother Nature was about to throw at them every 50, 100, 200 years. Okay? That would be like saying that as I hold this block of wood here, and I begin carving a beautiful sculpture, that the parts that are left that didn't get shaved off onto the ground are only there because they prepared for my coming and made themselves petrified. Mother Nature, adaptation, works the same way. If you don't have the traits you need to survive her curveballs, you're going to die. And your offspring aren't going to become. And if they can't become, they cannot procreate. Do you understand the way I see evolution now? Evolution doesn't exist. It's adaptation. That's all it is. We are not becoming bigger, better, faster, stronger. We could quite easily return to walking on all fours. That's okay. You will dance with the environment or you will die. It's adaptation. That's my view on that. Glad you could listen to it with me. Enjoyed talking about it.
And thank God Don Imus wasn't there. God damn, I've been sick. I wear a cowboy hat half the time. If you ever get a chance, put on a cowboy hat and ride roller skates. Now, I like to go down to Sunset Strip myself. I think I did this in 1977 or some shit. I was smoking pot and all that dumb shit back then. I had on roller skates and my cowboy hat and a Speedo. And believe it or not, I looked like everybody else there. It wasn't like I stood out or anything. But what happened is I dropped my beer. I was so concerned about dropping my beer that I panicked and fell. Fell directly on the beer and caused myself the type of injury where I couldn't have kids after that.
So there you go. There's your Don Imus for the night/morning. 5:09 a.m. You're listening to Truth on Tap with Kevin Kierstead. Doesn't it sound official? And I'm not even trying to make it sound official. Have I been programmed? Maybe I should change this shit up so it doesn't sound official. You know what I'm saying?
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin
The amazing voice of Wes Johnson, the Washington Capitals arena announcer, is what you just heard. And what you're about to hear is the greatest band ever to take the stage. And I'm going to bless you with 2 songs, because I got that kind of time. First, Putting On, Bad Ace, title, Kelly. Then, Bad Ace, title, Reality Check. And you know what? You're going to love it. You know why? Because I told you to. Now, go love it. Yeah. You know, the thing about Bad Ace is when they're playing, you know who you're listening to. Nobody goes, is that Van Halen, or am I picking up some Winger or something? No, you know you're listening to Bad Ace. Very unique sound. I got a friend who is the drummer for that group, and that friend's name is Todd. And let me just do this real quick. I've known Todd for approximately 6.25 million years. Greatest guy you'll ever meet. If you need heating or air conditioning, or your business does, or you know somebody that does, give Todd the job, because you're not going to find a more honest guy. He's fun, he's honest. He's the one guy in the small town that I live in that I've never heard anybody say anything bad about. What are the chances of that in a town where everybody talks about everybody? Hire him to do your job for you. It is Western Shore Inc., Western Shore Heating and Cooling. And I'm just going to tell you a little something. A lot of people get confused. What do you mean Western Shore? We're over on the east. He's talking about the Western Shore of the He's talking about the Western Shore of the Chesapeake Bay. So if you're going north on the Chesapeake Bay, then to your left would be the Western Shoreline, wouldn't it? Well, that's where you'll find Western Shore Heating and Cooling. How about it? And you're thinking, but if I'm on the bay, I don't need heating and cooling. Well, then you've missed my point entirely, and let's let it go there. For those that did get it, though, give Western Shore a call. They're out in Matthews County. You can give them a buzz. They're in the phone book. They're on Facebook. Look them up, Western Shore Heating and Cooling. I think we should talk more about night owls, and I'd like to mention in brief, as I explain night owls versus non-night owls, the morning person. And I think you know what I'm talking about when I say morning person, don't you? You do. You do. Listen, morning people. There have been some mornings, especially when I was a kid, and a few as an adult, where I have woken up and felt like I was the king of the world. Had energy, smelled the fresh air, maybe smelled the breakfast cook and heard the birds a singing, heard the morning traffic of business in America starting, and I was a happy man. I understand your feelings. Here's my request as a converted night owl. Please keep those to yourself. When you're buzzing around like a hummingbird, singing Mary Poppins songs, and people like me are just reaching for the mug with which to use to pour their first cup of coffee, if we have a sledgehammer on us, we're going to hit you with it. Why? Because you're displaying this high energy, happy mentality when we're not happy yet. And we certainly don't want to think yet. So if you're hitting us with a bunch of questions and stories and you're super happy, you're not appreciating our state of mind. So all that comes together to make a problem, because now you're being disrespectful to our state of mind. We can be respectful to your state of mind as long as you keep it out of our face. You can be joy happy. Just go stand in the middle of the road with your umbrella and do that whole singing in the rain routine. Just stay out of our face. Give us a half hour and a cup of coffee. We'll be good to go. Okay? All right? That okay with you, morning people? Good. Because next time I see one of you do that to me, I'm pulling out one of Miley Cyrus's foam fingers and shoving it in your mouth. And it's going to be hers, not even dry cleaned. So don't do it. Have a little respect for those of us that are not morning people. All right? I thank you kindly. I thank you very kindly. We are jealous of your mentality in the morning. We wish we had it, but we do not. That energy, that appreciation for life, we do not. We do not have it, and we don't want you rubbing it in our face, okay? Give us some time to wake up. I was half serious and half funny, but when I think about it, I was 90% serious and 10% funny on that. Yeah, you morning people really do annoy. Just do us a favor and try to, what was the name of that show? Curb Your Enthusiasm? Yeah, do that. Do that. Fool us. Make us think, shit, it's a shitty morning for me too. Even if inside you're feeling like, Thank God I got another day. The birds are singing. It's beautiful outside. I'd love to just go fly a kite right now before I even get rid of my morning breath. This is just a beautiful day. Oh, see, when I can't put it into words, it means I'm really frustrated. We're going to pick up another couple of pages here, going to talk about those night owls and morning people because I think it's important. I mean, you're spending, if you're lucky, a third of your life sleeping. There was a famous woman, and I wish I remembered her name. You could look it up, I'm sure. She said, in fact, let's do another contest. Anybody that looks this up and finds out who said it gets a free paracord bracelet from me. You can get a pink one. I'm getting some pink stuff brought to me today. Find out who the woman was that said, you better have a comfortable bed and a comfortable pair of shoes, because if you're not in one, you're in the other. And go post that on the Facebook page. It's facebook.com/truthontapshow. Now, to build off of that, how about that? Did she not make an excellent point? You spend so much time either in your shoes or in your bed. You better make sure that you make some investments in comfort. You really better. We thought we were getting a great mattress. We got one at Walmart. It was half memory foam, half spring. It was pretty expensive during last tax return like 2 years ago. And when you lay on it, it feels like a cloud. It feels beautiful. The problem is what happens about 2 hours later. Your skeleton begins to scream. Don't know why. Could be because we left the old mattress under it to give us some height and that sags. We need to take that out of there and try something because it's killing both of us. I need a good mattress. I'm wondering if the sleep numbers work well. They say 93% have less back pain. Now I got a feeling that study is heavily slanted, but gosh, even if it's only 40%, people like me are rather desperate and would take about anything to get some sleep. If it would help with back pain. How about you? Do you have a sleep number? Anything like it where one side can inflate? Now they got the heating element, so one side can be warmer or cooler than the other. My ex-folks-in-law, they had them. They didn't sing their praises, but they slept on it. I don't know. I'd like to know. I'd like to know your experiences with beds and what the best ones are, especially if you've got skeletal problems of any type. I'm not talking about stuff that yoga can fix. I'm not talking about bones and muscle. I am talking about bones. I'm not talking about muscles, tendons, ligaments, those kinds of things that stretching can help. I'm talking about bone and arthritis problems. What beds have you used that helped that? What shoes have you used that helped your back if you've got a bad back, especially an L4, L5 major problem, which is the most common area for back problems because it's kind of a, I don't want to say fulcrum, but it tends to be the center point where the most force is applied in a given motion. L4, L5, that's lumbar 4, lumbar 5. I'd like to know what shoes help you, and I'd like to know what bed helps you. I'd love to know that. I'm on the hunt, and I just don't know if I can trust some of these research. I mean, they pay thousands of people sometimes to give good reviews, and I don't know what to think, I want to be able to believe in the people that are reporting to me. You can get in on the chat if you like. Come on over to Spreaker.com/user/truthontap. You'll see my show there. You'll see a bunch of episodes, and you'll see one called Truth on Tap, Night Owls and Asstards, and it'll say live. It'll have a little red sticker there that says live. Click on that to bring up the page. You don't even have to start playing it yet. You don't have to play it at all if you don't want to hear me. But you can get ahead and get in on the chat. Down toward the lower right, you'll see a little heart. Down by the speaker there, you'll see a heart, like a little speech bubble, a square with a number in it, a little Facebook thing probably. Well, the thing beside the heart is the chat. So you can just pop it open and start chatting, and we'll chat, and I'll read what you have to say on the air. So that's pretty cool. Depending on how I feel, I may stay on another hour. I may stay on another half hour. I don't know. If I get some interaction, I'll stay on another hour. But only you morning people would be interested in interacting unless you're such a night person that you're still awake. We're going to talk more about morning people and night people. I've got some more reference material pulled up here, and And I find it very interesting. So, as it turns out, this one study, very limited in scope, says that we the night people, are more likely to be narcissistic, psychopathic, or Machiavellianistic. All right, well, stamp me then. Now, I believe I can find studies as I go that'll disagree with that. Um, okay, well, here's one. Now, this is important because it's the why, not the what. Okay, it doesn't say what does it mean that you're a night owl or morning person. It says why you are. Coming from WebMD, pretty respectable website, would you not say? I would. I'm bringing it up. Really love it too. Getting into the gory details, the long Latin words. Uh, a lot of you know already, but maybe there's something new here that I can share with you. Okay, so this was written by Colleen Oakley, and she's a WebMD magazine feature writer, and it was reviewed by Michael J. Bruce, PhD. So it's got some brains behind it. And we can give it a little bit of credit, and I'll read you parts of it. First thing they're talking about here is a couple. So let's go ahead and get into it. Jerry Solomon is a morning person. Jim, her husband of 11 years, is not. Early in their relationship, it posed quite a problem. When we were planning our wedding, I wanted to have these big discussions at 8 a.m. When I had been up for 2 hours and was fresh, but Jim would just be getting out of bed, says the 46-year-old floral designer from Melrose, Mass. We ended up getting into a lot of arguments because I took his shrugs to be disinterest, when really he was just still half asleep. I'm going to stop you right there, okay? God bless you, Jim. You should have told her. You should have told her so she wouldn't have been confused. Jerry, I'm not a morning person. I don't want to talk about anything important in the morning, and I don't want to talk about anything unimportant in the morning. Are you catching my drift? I'm going to need a full mug of coffee and a half hour before I can begin to interact with you. Okay? It's all you had to say, Jim. That's all you had to say to Jerry. But you wanted to, I don't know, did you want to, was it the honeymoon phase? Did you just want to impress her by, look, I'm ready for you 24/7? Don't disregard your humanity. You are who you are biologically, and let's go ahead and accept that. Let's read on. The couple learned to work around their differences over the years, but their situation is not uncommon, says Catherine Sharkey, MD, PhD, assistant professor of internal medicine and psychiatry and human behavior at Brown University, and associate director of the Sleep for Science Research Lab. She says more women tend to be larks, while men lean toward being night owls. Wow. What causes sleep patterns? The question is why? The answer lies in each individual's biological internal clock, or circadian rhythm. Now, most of us knew that already. As scientists call it, the human clock is about 24 hours. I hate it when people say obvious shit like it's newly discovered knowledge. You know who's the worst about this? Physicists. When they come on the shows, the science shows, let me show you an example of what happens when I blow this balloon up and swing it around like a yo-yo. Shut the hell up and just tell us what's going on. I'm not 4 years old and need your little fucking analogy, please. Yeah, I'm getting cynical. I'm sorry, folks. I'll still give you the shirt off my back, though, but I'm cynical. So here we go. So it says 24 hours thanks to Earth's 24-hour light-dark cycle. You don't say. But some people have a slightly longer natural cycle, and some are slightly shorter. If your circadian rhythm is on the long side, you're more likely to be a night owl. If it runs short, you're probably an early riser. But your circadian rhythm can change over your lifetime. There's a developmental piece to this puzzle. School-aged children are generally early birds, while teenagers tend to be night owls. And then as they age, adults gradually transition back to morning people, Sharkey says. Speak for yourself, Sharkey. Besides the obvious problems with being a night owl, if you have a day job, night owls tend to be more depressed, have a higher dependence on caffeine, and use alcohol more. Let me stop you right there. Okay, so if I'm an average night owl, I'm just going to blow that shit right out of the water. I don't drink, number one. I'm not depressed, number two. And a higher dependence on caffeine? No. If I'm lucky, I drink a pot of coffee a day. I'll always have coffee, but I drink. You ask my girlfriend. I drink it so slowly, it's ridiculous. I won't even finish a pot of coffee in a day. So, 3 swings, 3 strikes, Sharky out. Who's on deck? Let's go. Morning people, however, also have advantages. Larks, I'm getting sick of them using this word. Larks generally sleep better, have more regular sleep patterns, and have more flexible personalities, Sharkey says. They also tend to be happier and feel healthier than night owls, according to a recent study from the University of Toronto. All right, I'm going to skip the teen sleep thing. We're talking adults here, so bear with me. Because we're getting into Q's and A's, and I don't know why some idiots ask Q's and A's just to see their name in print. Hey, I was wondering, when you breathe, should you suck in and then push out? Oh man, I got my name on WebMD, yay. All right, well, actually it doesn't go on. It goes on to that question, and then it doesn't have like a page 2. How disappointing, WebMD. Give us some substance, you know? You touched on it. Damn. All right, well, we'll go to another. They gave us not even an appetizer. They give us like a breadcrumb. Let's see what else we found out here. Instructions we don't need. I want to know what they know about night owls. Night owls more intelligent but worse at school. Interesting. I was a straight A student in college. I'm not even going there. I mean, give me something I can bite on here. Night owls are, according to today.com, night owls are more likely to be jerks, suggests a new study. Now, I'll go read this just because it sounds interesting, even though I don't feel like I'm a jerk. I'm nice guys in public until you piss off. And it's hard to piss me off. You really got to poke a lot. You really do. You've either got to do that or be a bully or an asshole. That's it. If you don't poke at me and you're not a bully or an asshole, I will lay down over a mud puddle, crippled and all, so that you don't have to step in it. Ask anybody that knows me. Anybody. This looks like it's going to be a video, and I'm not going to play a video over a radio show. I don't even think I'm allowed to do that, but it just does not translate well. But I'll go ahead and read the short info they have here. It's just a few paragraphs. Says the video described as whether you like to burn the midnight oil or rise and shine early can say more about your personality than you may have guessed. NBC's Carson Daly, like I'm listening, reports on the traits tied to early risers and night owls, and psychologist Xavier Armador adds perspective. So let's get into it. Good morning, chirp your coworkers. Uh-huh, you reply. Night owls sometimes feel a little darker, a little meaner when compared to their bright-eyed early bird counterparts, and a new research suggests there may be something to that. Hello, folks. I've already given you these reasons, but let's see how close they get to reality. What's the name of my show? Truth on Tap. Thought you knew. Next paragraph. A new study published in the Journal of Personality and Individual Differences links a tendency to stay up late with what psychologists call, here we go again, what psychologists call the dark triad or triad of personality traits: narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. The study authors, led by Peter K. John, I'm not going to reread this study. We just went over all of this. But I will go ahead and read the individual view on it, which was, I thought this study had some merit because there's 20 years of research on these 3 personality traits, the so-called dark triad, Machiavellian, narcissistic, and psychopathic, Armador says. But he points out that this study, and almost all others like it, are conducted on college students. And let me stop right there. That's true. Most studies like this are volunteer college students. There are so many. If you've ever taken a college level statistics class and you start talking about getting fair cross sections of representative populations, it'll blow your mind. Think of it. Isn't a college student who's most likely to volunteer for something already setting himself apart? That's automatically making him separate from someone who is not likely to volunteer. You can't possibly be getting a good cross section there. You offer money? What about the people on campus that aren't motivated by money? On and on it goes. But anyway, so he says, different sleeping. Well, we talked about the different sleeping patterns of college students and all that. Yeah. So basically, you're hearing, and I'm not going to read anymore. Today Health, Today Show, of what I just told you about 30 minutes ago. So let's try to find something new for God's sakes. The dark side of being a night owl. Now, is this the same shit all over again? Uh, uh, yeah, I don't know. Here you go. Why not? Why night? This is from the UK, and I love my UK brothers and sisters. I really do. They're not too happy with us right now. Why night owls are cleverer and richer than people who get up early. Stand by. You got at least close in the article. See what you see. I hate to ignore you. If you get in the chat and I'm not there with you, call in. Even if you don't want to talk, and say, hey, get me on chat, and then help. The number is 910 no lying. All right. Why are we scanning stuff? I don't like that. Okay. Apparently one of my virus scanners. The fuck? Okay. Whatever. I'm not going to bore you with it. Let's pull this back up. And the reference for this story is dailymail.co.uk. You can ascribe the appropriate amount of credibility you wish to give to them. And it's in Science and Tech, which is kind of a strange place, but I guess they're going to refer to this to psychology. Here we go. You ready? It says, it has long been held that early bird catches the worm, but it is the night owl that last the distance, research shows. It found that late risers tire less quickly than those who make a point of getting up at the crack of dawn. The study is likely to be embraced by anyone tired of being branded lazy for their love of a lie-in. That means sleeping in. You go to the UK, everything changes. And here we have a picture caption. Got a girl sleeping there, says, and that's Getty Images, that belongs to them, says, not so guilty pleasure. A study has found that people who sleep in tend to be cleverer and richer than morning larks. All right, let's keep reading. And it adds to growing evidence that it is night owls that rule the roost. Previous studies have found that those who rise later tend to be both cleverer and richer than early birds. For the latest study, scientists pitted morning larks against night owls in a task designed to measure their reaction and attention times. During the experiment, volunteers got up, went to bed at their usual times, with the larks tending to turn in 4 hours earlier than the owls. Both did similarly well, with the task shortly after getting up, but 10 hours into their day. Now we're getting into endurance here. It was the night owl that shone, being both quicker and more alert at the task, the journal Science reports. Despite being awake for the same length of time, the larks felt sleepier, with scans showing the parts of their brains linked to attention were less active. Dr. Philippe Peigneux, that's French for those of you that didn't know, of the University of Liège in Belgium, said, during the evening session, evening types were less sleepy and tended to perform faster than morning types. Previous studies have shown that getting up late appears to be in our DNA, and I strongly do believe that, by the way. This is Kevin talking. With our body clock regulated by a series of genes which determine whether we are larks or owls. People, I'm just going to add to that I don't think you can fix it. And as such, I believe that this global economy's workforce ought to start adapting. Let's start making some shifts, adding some more night shifts and evening shifts. You know, when I was working at Gateway, I had an awesome shift because I hate repetition and I hate mornings. So it was the perfect shift. Worked like this. The shifts were noon to 10 p.m. Okay, 10-hour shifts, 4 days a week. But the days rotated. And it was every 2 weeks. So you might, and I'm just going to throw some out here because I don't remember the exact, but you ended up at one point with 4 days in a row off. That's how this works. So you might work let's say Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Then the next week you work a Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. See what I'm saying? beautiful. Always mixing it up, never the same thing. I loved it. They did not do that when I transferred out to Colorado Springs from the Hampton Gateway, and made me a little unhappy. But anyway, that's not why I left. I met my ex-wife. She got pregnant. We wanted to go back to Vermont to have the baby. Famous night owls. You want to hear some famous night owls? We'll talk about some famous night owls. In fact, I'm going to look for more of those later, as well as famous larks. Famous night owls include Charles Darwin. Oh, you're not going to like this one. Adolf Hitler. But how about this? And Winston Churchill. Hey, I don't mind being a night owl because Adolf Hitler was, as long as Winston Churchill was too, because he was badass.
We shall fight among the trees and the fields and the gardens. We shall fight in the streets along the hills. Give me a cigar, would you? Yeah.
Who else? Now, Winston Churchill, who regularly went to bed at 4 a.m., I'm loving you, Winston. I hear you, buddy. And rose late. Due to his sleeping patterns, he often hosted war cabinet meetings in his bath. Yikes. What a guy. I mean, he had character, did he not? He was loaded with character. He had the character that England needed during World War II. They most certainly did need that. Hell, America needed him to have it. Once we got over there, he was kind of like our daddy. I mean, Eisenhower ran the show, but he knew what was going on. He had been doing it for 4 years already. It is thought that the division into larks and owls has its roots in evolution, with early risers in the Stone Age taking the initiative in food gathering, while owls stood guard late into the night. I believe that. I believe that makes perfect sense. I'm one of those guys. I've always felt an attraction to being active in the dark. Always have. Were we to go back, have a global collapse, all transportation systems, have a big war, and we're basically back in caveman days because the entire economy collapses, I'm going to be running night owl, even if they fix my back first. Yeah, I'm watching. I'm on guard from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I'm watching. I feel it. It's natural. Why can't we accept that? Why can't we accept that? Why do we have to twist and change people and say, fuck your DNA, this is my DNA and you're going to do it? Yeah, we need some more understanding and tolerance in this world if we want to get all we can out of people. I swear to God, I hate intolerance. Hate it. Yeah, well, let's find some more famous ones. Let me see how long I've been going here, and then we'll decide how much longer we are going to go. I'm looking at my clock, and it says, wow, it says we've only been going for about $1.19. Damn, I could go a lot longer if I wanted. 72 megabytes so far. That's a big podcast. Yeah. Think about it. I'll think about it. I'm going to go ahead and put on my show description that there will be cussing so no one's confused and listen to this with kids in the room or whatever. Honestly, and I may change my mind. I never commit to anything except, when I decided I'm going to marry a woman, I will commit for the hardcore, long term. One rule I have, no cheating. You spend my paycheck on shoes, you're not even going to raise my pulse rate at all. If you have to cheat on me, all I ask is you leave me first. If the guy's got your heart, go ahead and leave. Go ahead and leave. And then do your thing, and we'll be fine. But don't do it and come home to me and then let me find out later. That I have a problem with. Are you like that? Are you like that at all? Yeah, I'm like that. I'm not even a jealous type anymore. Used to be. They say that jealous types tend to come from large families, meaning that you had more than 2 siblings. I happen to have 4. I guess the conclusion you would jump to, which is dumb to jump to any conclusions, would be, well, there must have been more competition, not for resources necessarily, everybody ate, but for attention from the parental units. It makes sense, I guess. So you get jealous when the one you love is now being shown attention or giving attention to another. Makes sense. Yeah, I was always the jealous type. When it came to my girlfriend, I didn't want her talking to any guys or any guys talking to her. Very immature. But it felt so natural. It came out of me so natural, just like I could think to myself, this is immature, this is stupid. It's not like she's going to go out with him. You know, she's mine. And yet I just felt this desire to, hair standing up on the back of my neck. I wanted to just butt him in the head like those mountain goats, man. It's just ridiculous. We're animals, people. Don't let anybody fool you. I don't care how civilized you get. You're an animal with thumbs and the ability to reason. That's it. That's it. You have a pretty decent communication system. That's it. Outside of that, you're an animal. You're a Neanderthal. You are going to act on emotion, okay? People want to believe we're so civilized that we should never engage in such uncivilized behavior. What kind of behemoth are we doing this kind of thing? You're an animal, all right? You're an animal, and the sooner you accept that, the happier you're going to be in life. Control your animal. Control your instincts. Make them conform to this civilized world. Make them conform to the laws the way they're written. If you don't like the laws, go get them changed, but don't break them. But accept that you're the animal, okay? You're an animal. If you don't think you're an animal, go get robbed. You don't think you're an animal? I want you to go sit on the edge of a high rise and tell somebody to come push you from behind. They might do it. They might not. You don't know. You don't think you're an animal? Do that. You don't think you're an animal? Get in a car and put a brick on the and I'm making this up off the top of my head. I like exercising my creativity. Take a cinder block, put it on top of the gas, go ahead and get an automatic, put it in drive on a nice open highway where no one's out yet. Tie the steering wheel to the, I don't know, the gear shift or whatever. Try to keep it level like that. Now get it up to about 70 and have it gradually and steady increasing. Make sure you're staying on the road, and then pour gas all over the car and light it on fire. Now, sit there. Everything's going to work out fine, right? Just sit there. Just sit there. You're not an animal. You're a civilized man. You'll make it through this. Just sit there. Don't fool yourself. You're an animal. And tell your friends they're animals too. Of the 6 major fields of psychology that I found interest in school, I focused on the evolutionary, which is kind of funny considering that I think evolutionary is misleading. Again, I do think evolution happened. I'm certainly on board with that. I just think that it makes people falsely believe that we're going in a very specific, certain direction as we evolve, and we are not. We are simply adapting, and you're seeing the snapshots of that adaptation, making it look almost like a motion video, okay? We could go any which a way from any which a point, okay? You're with me there? I didn't hear you. I said, are you with me there? Ah, thank you. Good. Let's talk some more about night owls and these obnoxious bastard morning people. Yeah, they say bad things about. They say bad things on this first. Well, everybody's jumping on that new study. Are you a psychopath? Now, how old is this one? August 12, 2013. I got a feeling they're going to repeat one of them. I'm going to bring it up, and I'm not going to bore you with it if it repeats the same damn place. Give us something that's in time 5 years. That's fine for a new study from university that involved 236 fucking people. Liverpool. Okay. We're looking. Looks like this is new. Yeah. Okay. All right. Looks good. Yeah. New stuff here. New stuff. Not new, but different than what we've been talking about. Okay. Yeah. Let's do it. All right. And once again, I go to my friends in the UK. Says, and this is also from the Daily Mail. You can read along with me if you want to Google it. Just go ahead and Google night owls and larks and look at the first few results. You'll see one of them is the dailymail.co.uk, and it's in the health category. Again, I don't know how much credibility you want to assign to this magazine. I'm not a reader, a normal reader of this particular magazine. So I'm not telling you that this is a necessarily reputable source. I can't be sure of that. But I tend to trust any kind of article that lists reference that I can check. And those references are legit, and those references are respectable. You can't use the National Enquirer as a reference and then get my respect. That doesn't work. You've got to have good references. Here we go. Talking about night owls, talking about morning people. I'm going to give you one to think about first, and then I'm going to go over on Facebook and see if anybody else wants to get in on this. I'm going to give you a few of the topics just to let you think about them. Says here, larks, those, just remember, larks are the morning people. Larks feel more tired. Owls are hungrier and fatter. Owls are more likely to snore. And finally, for now, for a tease, larks may be more at risk of cancer. I'll let you bake on those for a minute, and what I'll do is I need to give my vocal cords a rest, so I will throw on a little bit of music here. I thought I had thrown in some music from, I like to sometimes play some music from unknown artist, so I think I have it here, but I don't see it, so I'm going to go search for it really quickly and see if I can. I'm already in the folder, so I should be able to see it here really quickly. It would be music to play. Music to play, yeah. There we go. Let's see, is this it? Yeah, that added a bunch of them. So, oh yeah, so I can play a few of these. Well, not a bunch, but I can play. All right, so the music you'll most often hear on my shows is going to be Bad Ace, the greatest band ever. You're also going to hear from the very young and talented Logan Moxley, who has made some incredible music in that kind of an electronic manner. And then I'll throw on these you never heard of them before, and yet they may become famous. You don't know. And I've heard some of these before too. I'll explain how later. This one's called Grapes, I Don't Know. I'm queuing that one up now. And then coming immediately after that, these are rather short songs, so I can play two. Coming immediately after that is going to be something called Morganty Cow Connection or something. Fuck it, it's going on. And we're going to hit it right after.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host
Venez de la verrerie, venez de la toujours la même idée, toujours la même idée, seul dans ses marbres, seul dans ses
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host
You know, I'm going to be a little honest with you. I like French just as much as the next guy who speaks marginally good French, but I didn't like that song. That song made me feel like I was a criminal in Paris who thought he was a really bad guy, but who had really just stolen like a car tire. That's how it made me feel. That's art. You know, art makes you feel a certain way, and music is art. Do you ever do that? Go ahead and draw a picture from the art that you're hearing or seeing. How does it make you feel? You know, how does it make you feel to see a Monet? It's pretty interesting, isn't it? It's hard to put into words. You know what I'm thinking about doing on this show? Be honest with you, and I'd like your feedback on this. Mr. Sean Cosby would be a primary candidate for this, and I think if he started doing it, and if I started doing it, and if I could get Mrs. Amber to start doing it, then we might just have some radio poetry readings. Why not? Why not? You know, they do it in person all the time with these stages. I mean, what's the difference if I can look at your face? You know, with the radio, I'm forced to imagine. It puts less pressure on the person reading, so they can truly focus on the emotion they're feeling when they read this poem that they've written to you. Why not? I think I'll put a little thing out to some people that I know would be interested in it, and then if you're listening now or at some point in the near future you're listening to this older episode, why don't you come over to the Facebook page and tell me, hey, I like the idea of the poetry reading, or I'm not even opposed if you've got a band or if you can play some music on the computer to go ahead and play it live right over the show, over the phone. Couple things to keep in mind though. If it sucks, I'm turning you off. Poetry, I will not turn you off. But if the music sucks too bad and it's, you know, my cats are screaming and my girlfriend's throwing shit at me and my ears are melting, I got to cut you off. So try to make it at least halfway decent on the music. So yeah, why not? Why not go ahead and give it a shot and do a poetry reading type thing? I can't see anything wrong with that. Worst case scenario, we get some feedback. People say, that sucks, don't do it anymore. Well, then we'll talk about it. But I'm not here for popularity. I'm here for keeping it all real. I'm here for good art, good taste of art here and there. I'm not focused on art though. And something different, a little unique, a little different. I mean, there's 20,000 internet radio stations running right now. I mean, how am I going to compete with them? I don't know. I think part of it is that I'm not trying to compete with them. I'm just bringing you another pretty ornament on the Christmas tree. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be the angel sitting at the top. If you decide to put me up there, well, good for me. I'm still going to be doing the same thing that I'm doing now, so it doesn't really matter. I've had several different people offer me propositions that might have led me to fame, to which I've promptly said no thank you. I'm not interested in fame. I'm not against it. I kind of like privacy, and you can't have that with fame. I don't care how skilled you are. Now, I don't think I was ever destined for fame. I don't think I have the kind of qualities that a typical person would have that you would say, that guy's going to be famous. I don't have those qualities. But even if I did, the way my personality is now, I wouldn't appreciate it. And then I'd feel terrible because so many people want to be famous, and I'd be like, here I am famous, and I don't even need it. I don't even enjoy it. And there's people out there that want this so bad they're drooling over it. Anyway, it's been a kind of a stream of consciousness. We've been talking a little bit about night owls and Asstards, mainly in the form of, once again, my neighbors or the law enforcement people, at least the asshole ones. I've been dealing with some pretty cool ones here lately, and I'm very thankful for that, because the ones that are not cool are going to get plenty of attention from me. I'll do a whole show on them. Same thing with a bully. Show me a bully, I will ignite that son of a bitch on the radio. Now, I'm very reluctant to do that to a kid bully, but let me tell you something, parents. If you've got a kid bully, you better get some reins around him. Because if another kid like me happens to cross his path and that kid bully says something, your kid's going to end up with a smashed face. And dental work is expensive these days. You understand me? Get your bully under control. Have him treat everybody with respect. And then we don't have to have dental work done. Okay? That's my message for the day. What the hell? Might as well have one. Oh, Lord, we've been broadcasting here for about $1:39. I think that's enough. I could go longer, but why not save my vocal cords? I mean, I think there's a hockey game tonight, a Caps game. I'm going to have to do Caps on tap. So maybe I should save a little bit, leave a little bit in the reserve. A reminder of what you've been listening to.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host
And because I'm the kind of guy that likes to do basic public service announcements, and I know you're getting ready to go to work today, this would be a reminder of something that you may actually want to avoid in a meeting, you know. No, that's not going to come out of anybody's butt. That I know, but now this. Oh yeah. Try to sit in the corner so they don't hear you. No, it's too late. It's too late. And then if you get a combo, like you start off with that, and then you come back at them with this. Oh no! Try to yell really loud so they can hear it. Go ah! And then they'll think, oh no, that person must be sick, but maybe they won't hear you fart. And if you yell loud enough, they'll clear the room so they won't smell it. See how clever I am? So all you got to say is, I saw a spider the size of a poodle in there. I don't think we should go back in there right now. Look at that, man. Look at that. You've gotten away with the fart. Nobody's picking up on the smell. You don't look crazy. In fact, you're a superhero. You just saved everybody in your meeting from a poodle-sized spider. Kevin's got you covered, man. This is why you got to listen to my show. I have ways to make your life easier. This is why you got to listen to my show. And you have been listening to Truth on Tap. Your host, Kevin Kierstead. Tune in tonight at about 10 o'clock if you want to catch Caps on Tap. At a minimum, we will do our Friday show tomorrow. That's going to be the Arab midget bastard boy, Ramsey Swice, who takes on me, the white and supreme imperialist American. We're going to talk some shit to each other. He's getting ready to move to LA to start a